Let's get to know each other. This is Frogo. Frogo is just an ordinary guy who loves going to the gym and wants to get in shape. He started working out just like many others with the simple desire to get stronger, look better, and feel more confident. At first, everything was exciting and he really enjoyed it. New exercises, new sensations, new acquaintances, and the first small results. He didn't always manage to train, but he kept at it anyway. But over time, Frogo began to notice something. His progress had almost come to a standstill. Days and months went by and he trained 4 times a week, but there was almost no progress. But most of all, he didn't understand why progress had come to a halt, and what should he do now? Progress continued for a while, but then it suddenly stopped and hardly increased at all. He set a training schedule for himself day by day, but nothing changed. He also started eating right and having 5 meals a day. He watched the 24/7 workout videos. He read tips online and workout plans. He got completely absorbed in it. Everyone around him was getting stronger, except for him, and he couldn't understand why that was happening. Frogo tried to lift the kind of weight that bodybuilders lift, but he couldn't do it. And one day, Frogo started to wonder, maybe there's some secret he doesn't know about. He knew he was doing everything right, but he was missing one key to success. One evening, while browsing the internet, he came across a topic that frequently came up in fitness communities, and he decided to look into it further. And that very night, he realized what everyone had been talking about all this time and why they all looked so vivid. And they were steroids. He started reading more about it and thinking about it every day. He was completely absorbed in the subject and wanted to learn everything there was to know about it. Some people wrote that it was dangerous, but others posted photos showing transformations that looked almost unreal. People were changing in just a few weeks. Broad shoulders, arms that looked like those of professional athletes. And Frogo started thinking, what if I just tried it for a little while, just for a short time, just 30 days? After thinking it over for a long time, he finally decided to do it. He wanted to become very big and strong, and that desire was consuming him. Day after day went by, and I waited for that very moment, said Frogo. Every day he imagined how strong and great he would be, and how everyone would love him. Just imagine, he'll have the biggest hands in the world. That's what Frogo was thinking at that moment. Those thoughts were constantly running through his head. The more he thought about it, the more he wanted it. Summoning all his strength, he finally made up his mind, figured out how it all worked, and decided to try it out for himself. So what will happen to Frogo in 30 days if he takes steroids? The first thing he did was put together a proper training regimen for himself. But he still couldn't figure out in his head how it was supposed to happen and what would happen to him. He's already done what he needed to do and decided to start our challenge. Day 1. The first thing Frogo did was shake off the excess material. He doesn't know how to do it, so he just does what he knows how to do. Oh, and he's giving himself his first little jab. He doesn't know yet what's going to happen to him. That same day, he decides to go to the gym to work out a bit and see if it all works. He decides to lift the barbell, and he manages to do it. It's hard, but he manages it anyway. Frogo stands there wondering if something has changed or not. It was hard for him then, and it's hard for him now. He doesn't understand anything. Then he started doing all the exercises one by one to see if anything was changing at all. He tried again to lift the barbell with a heavier weight, and surprisingly, he started to get the hang of it, though he also began to get quite out of breath. But he still wasn't sure if the steroids were working, so he decided to continue the experiment. Day after day went by, and Frogo still had no intention of stopping. He began to realize that lifting the barbell was no longer a problem for him. The more he worked out, the more he could feel his muscles growing and how easy it was for him to do reps now. Frogo also became really irritable. Whenever something didn't go his way, he was ready to tear everything apart. He also noticed that he was getting very tired. He felt a tightness in his chest and was sweating profusely. Start of day 5. On the 5th day, he realized that his strength was actually increasing. It was a strange feeling. It was as if his body had started working faster than before. Lifting a large rock was no problem for him. He and his muscles were growing right before our eyes. He became so powerful that he could no longer contain the power within him. The moment had finally come when he could lift incredible weights. He had become the strongest every single day. Frogo recalls what his old physique looked like and laughs, and he set his sights on becoming even bigger than he is today. He comes home in the evening and sees that she's shrunk to 1/10 her original size. But he isn't upset because he knows she'll grow back to her normal size. He started working out with dumbbells, and he started noticing that he wanted to sleep even during the day. He also started getting really nervous over every little thing, practically everything. He was upset because someone had smeared sweat all over the bench press. And whenever he saw a piece of paper on the ground, he'd just lose his mind. He was so aggressive, it was scary just to look at him. He knew he needed to calm down, but he found it very difficult to do so, yet he managed it anyway. Start of day 15. By the 15th day, the results were even more noticeable. People in the room started noticing Frogo, and he liked that. People started asking Frogo for advice, but all he ever said was, "Just keep going and everything will work out for you, buddy." He didn't want to tell anyone the truth, because he didn't want anyone to be stronger than him. And one day he decided to hide his steroids altogether because he was afraid his secret would be revealed and everyone would find out about it. However, there were other changes as well. He found it harder to fall asleep. Sometimes he would wake up in the middle of the night for no reason and couldn't get back to sleep. He really wanted to fall asleep, but his body just wouldn't let him. He also started getting scared of every little sound. He even started to be afraid of a little mouse. And his heart started beating much faster than usual, but he tried not to pay attention to it, though sometimes he couldn't help it. He also stopped noticing what was going on around him, and because of that, he became very distracted, without even realizing it. Day 20 has begun. Frogo has achieved his dream, but he doesn't stop there. He wants to keep going and see what happens next. He could lift heavy weights with ease, but he didn't realize what the consequences would be. His mood began to change as quickly as the time of day. At first, he was very happy and he thought everything was fine. 5 seconds later, he was already in tears, sad and confused, and had no idea what was happening to him. And Frogo began to realize one important thing. Quick results often come at a price. Sometimes that price isn't immediately apparent, but it's there. Day 25 begins. Frogo looked so bad that people didn't recognize him anymore. He was as worn out as a washcloth. He didn't understand anything anymore. He broke the mug without even realizing it. Day 30, and the last day on steroids. Frogo stood in front of the mirror, looking at himself, and realized that some things in life are better built slowly, but done right, because sometimes the shortest path turns out to be the most expensive. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. There's lots of interesting stuff coming up. This has been Frogo. Bye, everyone.